Yeah. Okay. So can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So how to create your own teaching material. And here we will talk about tools and data that you need and how to use them, and the components of the reading lesson. And you can use this like for any other kind of lesson. And then we will have the end if you have any questions or anything. So first,
Mr. Dabis, excuse me.
Yep.
Do you remember the worksheet you sent me to distribute to teachers? Unfortunately, I totally forgot about it. So if you think it's important, you can share it with us now, and we can do the task, before starting, if you don't mind.
Okay, I was going to talk about it now. Like we were going to use it here in this slide, but it's okay. You can take a minute to think about it. So
that's
here,
okay, fine.
Okay, so first we will start with tools and data and how to use them. First, can you see this picture?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want you to have a look at the picture and just try to think about it. Tell me, what does this mean? What can you interpret from this picture? So just have 1 minute and think, and then you can start share your opinion. Okay, Adir. Yes. You raised your hand. You want to talk?
What? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
I think he's using the wrong key. This is not the key to, to solve this problem,
Okay, that's good. Let's
Yes.
listen to others.
Yes. Okay, I guess it means like there is a way for anything, like there is a way to do anything in the world, but you have to know how to do it. Like there
Okay.
is a tool to do everything. So to teach, you need to have your own tools and techniques to teach and your materials. Like to get a new job or to do anything in the world, you need to have like the materials and the tools that you need to do it.
Perfect. Okay. How about others? Any other thoughts? Okay, what will happen if we keep using this tool?
Nothing happens.
Can I speak?
Yes,
I
please.
just want to speak.
I think, Sarah, since we already are talking about how to teach reading and speaking, I think you want to say by this picture that some people use the wrong key or use the wrong to deliver what they want to say in the lesson.
Okay.
Right?
I want to say something.
Yes, please.
Okay, so basically there's like a goal here, or like a task that needs to be done. You need to get that nail out of the log, but you're using the wrong tool or like the wrong method, so you'll never really get what you actually want from that task. Like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Okay, so let me contribute here. So yeah, so we're using the wrong tool here, and what will happen is that we will spend a lot of effort here, and in this picture we will get no results. But like, in some cases you might get some results, but they are not satisfactory. Okay, so using the wrong tool is not like beneficial when we talk about teaching and creating your own materials. So this is why tools and data are very important. So now let's talk about tools and data, and we're talking about creating materials. So what tools do you think we need when we want to create teaching material or a lesson? ideas?
I guess the most important tool is the age and the level of the student. Sorry, the level of the student is the most
Okay.
important thing. According that, you can choose your own material, it would be suitable for them.
Okay, that's good. Anything else?
Okay, can I say something?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so I just wanted to ask, there's a difference between tools and data, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, so the data I can guess like it's like the culture of the students, their age and like their abilities and so on, their interests, things like that. But the tools, I believe we need to, I'm not sure, but like maybe research methods, how to get maybe curricula, things to, you know, get some ideas from, maybe, I don't know, just to guess.
That's perfect. Okay. We will talk about some practical tools that you will need, and also we'll talk about some data and things that you will use to create your own lessons, like the information about the students. Everything you mentioned was right. And let's look at the first tool we have here. So the first thing we have here is Microsoft PowerPoint. So let me just remind you, we're not having a Microsoft PowerPoint training session. So we will just have a look at what can you do with Microsoft PowerPoint and designing your lessons and how useful it is. And the difference between Microsoft PowerPoint and other Microsoft applications or programs. So the Microsoft PowerPoint, this is what I name it. It's a multi-purpose program. So you can use it in like presentations like this one here. It's easier and fast than other Microsoft programs in designing the lessons. So I will like show you what you can do with Microsoft PowerPoint. Again, we will talk about the basics and the things, the features that you will need in creating your lessons. But first, let's talk about your experience with Microsoft PowerPoint first. So have you ever used Microsoft PowerPoint, and what for?
Yes, we use it a lot. Like we use it to make a presentation for like a reading lesson, a grammar lesson, like anything. Almost we use it in everything, like in teaching. Like if you want to present anything, we use it.
Right.
It's more useful or effective while teaching grammar. I like using the animation effects and all this stuff. It helps the student get the grammar lesson point by point or step by step.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, what about Soha?
Yes, well, we used to use it to make a presentation, researches, and these days we've been using it a lot with, especially with the online teaching process. It's visually appealing for our students, and yeah, it's effective tool for making your teaching curriculum.
Okay, that's good. Now let's have a look at what you can do with PowerPoint, like and how easy it is in creating your lessons. So first we have this slide. The first thing you can control here is the size. So if you're going to use it like this here, you're going to create slides, like make a presentation. But what we're going to do is to have a lesson that you can print out. So first we need to change this. So we go to design, and then we go to the slide size here, custom slide size. Then we change this to portrait, and then A4 paper. Then, okay. I'm not sure about like, they both are the same. They give me the same result. You can choose any one of them. Now, this is the shape of the thing you're going to create your lesson on. So you're going to put everything here. Why do we use PowerPoint presentation to create a lesson on A4 page, not Word? simply if you do anything here, it will stay in this page. So like if you create a book or something, I will show you some examples now. Then you decided to change anything here in Word, like this change will affect other pages inside the same document. But here, whatever change you're going to make, they will stay the same page. They will not affect other pages. Okay. Adding text, I'm sure you know this one because you told me you're using it in presentations. So here, adding text is simple. You just go like this. You can zoom in and zoom out. Like you work this area, so you can zoom in so you can see the text easily. If you're like, if you want to see the final product, so you can zoom out and see your lesson here. So you write whatever you want here, and then you move to the next thing. Like one feature I like about PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint is the screenshot. So for example, you want to add a picture here, like there is a traditional way. You could go there and then insert and then picture, which is like it takes a lot of time. But for example, let's say that you want to add a picture of, let's say, a father. Okay, go there. For example, you want this one. Okay, you go PowerPoint presentation here, and you go to screenshot. I added this feature there to make it easier for me so I can reach it. And then I click like this, just go and click whatever one, then it comes here. Again, is better than, like, what is better in Microsoft PowerPoint than Microsoft Word is that you can move the picture wherever you want. Like no need to change or edit anything before you do this. You can control the size and so on. Okay. And then at the end, when you finish, you just transfer it to PDF. You go there to file. Like there are many features here. I'm talking about the ones that we're going to use in creating our own lesson. So you go to Save As and then Browse, and then you choose PDF and then Save. You have the final product. I'm not going to. Okay, the second thing you need before creating the lesson is CEFR system. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
CEFR system or standard?
To some extent, yes.
Yeah, so what is CEFR?
I think it defines the international English levels, I guess.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Council of Europe for language, or
The CEFR.
for foreign language, I guess.
Huh?
Council of Europe for foreign language.
I think this is the system we
Yeah. For Cambridge.
we arrange the students' levels from
The level
A1 to
for
C
Cambridge.
to C2.
Assessment.
From?
Again,
About,
yeah, this is the language system of levels, like starting from A1 until C2.
Yeah, the common European
That's the common European
framework of reference.
language, if I remember it.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so like it divides the level for any language from A1 to C2. So like let's first read about it. I'll give you 1 minute to read this.
Done.
Okay, good. So, like, it doesn't only tell you the level of the student, it also tells you the level of the book, the materials, and also qualifications. So this is not what we're going to talk about today, but let's put on books and materials and lessons. So why is it important to know the level of this lesson or this book before using it with your students?
To match with the student's ability and needs,
Okay,
and
that's
get the objectives, results or outcome.
good. Okay. Any other ideas?
Maybe so that we don't really design activities or any other materials that are so difficult, like so over challenging for the students or less than what they can do. So yeah, just to match their level and their needs.
Yep, that's good. Okay. I have some examples here. So CEFR. So here we have the CEFR level A1 learner outcomes. Here we have level A2 learner outcomes and level B1 learner outcomes. Those are just examples. If you need them, I will share them at the end with Mr. Shaban, then he'll share them with you. So let's have a look at level A1. So here it tells you exactly what your students are able to do when they are in this level. They tell you about the ability of the students in the listening and reading. So for example, in reading here, they understand very short and simple text. So for example, on notices and posters or in catalogs, taking out familiar names and basic phrases and so on. I don't want to keep reading. I'm just showing it as an example and what you can use it for, what information you can get, what information and data you can get from the CEFR. So the listening proficiency scale and the reading and all speaking, and here we have the writing proficiency scale. This is the most important part. Like if you have students in level A1, your lessons must focus on those things. So here in functions, by the end of A1, to say that your students pass A1 and move to A2, they should be able to talk about directions, describing habits and routines, giving personal information, and all those language functions here. And here you have vocabulary about food and drink, nationalities and countries, and things like that. And here you have the topics. So have a look at the topics here. We have here family life, hobbies and pastimes, holiday leisure activities, shopping, work, and jobs. If we go to a B1, for example, and we go down there. Okay, so here we have leisure activities again, and then we have education, film, media, and literature, news, lifestyles, and current affairs, and so on. So if you're creating a lesson to A1 students, you need to follow the topics here, okay? So even if you have leisure activities, like repeated, the language produced by the students will be different. So for example, if we look at something here, so for example, functions, here describing places. You see in B1, the student should be able to say Cairo is the capital city of Egypt. It's on the banks of the river. It has, so he can like extend his answers, extend like giving more details about places. Okay, so not only Cairo. So about places, cities, and so on. So he can not only give one simple sentence. So you should focus on the topics when you create lesson, and also focus on the learner outcomes, like in the production section in each lesson, as we will discuss later. Yeah. So this is a very important thing you need before creating a lesson or writing a lesson. So this is very important. Before creating the lesson, you need. Hello. Okay. So before creating your lesson or writing your lesson, you need to have a look at this. The level of the students you're writing the lessons for, what they need, and like the topics you're going to use, and the outcome you will want at the end of each lesson. Then like you will have an outline like for the level, all the levels. Okay, let's get back to our presentation here. Okay. The third thing we need here is a good dictionary. So first, which dictionary do you use in planning your lessons and why?
I use Cambridge Advanced Dictionary.
Why?
Because it's got everything I need as a teacher. Lots of examples, clear explanation. I use the online and the application forms. I can get like the pronunciation easily, and I just feel like I've been working with it for so many years. I'm quite familiar with it. Unless there's something I don't find in such dictionary like colloquial English, for instance, or slang. I use other dictionaries like Urban Dictionary. It's online and it's available, and it gives you wonderful examples and explanations of slang, words, and expressions.
Yeah, I use Urban Dictionary too, as well as U Dictionary. It's an application on my phone. I also have the Pocket Dictionary for Oxford, but I actually don't use paper dictionary. I haven't needed it yet.
Okay, that's good. How about others?
Cambridge and U Dictionary.
Okay.
I also use Cambridge Advanced and Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Okay, that's good. So now we were talking about like planning for teaching. Now we're talking about creating instructional material. So you need a dictionary that shows the level of targeted vocabulary according to the CEFR. So you cannot use. Okay, let's discuss this first. So again, we need a dictionary that shows the level of the targeted vocabulary you're going to use in your lesson according to the CEFR. So we were just talking about the CEFR and that we have levels from A1 to C2. So A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So why do we need this? Why do we need to know the level of each vocabulary? Not each vocabulary, the targeted vocabulary that we're going to use in the lesson, in writing the text and like the questions and so on.
To avoid using words like higher than the student level.
Okay, that's good.
Complicated words. To avoid complicated words.
Yes, sir. It's to adapt it with the learner's level.
Okay, okay. So, so I'll just give you a minute to read this.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at one of the online dictionaries here, which is Oxford Learner's Dictionary. So here, for example, if you're writing a text about, let's say, job for, let's say, A1 students. So for example, you want to have a look at the word job. And then you will find here that this word is
A1.
A1. Okay, what about this word?
B1.
Proficient, which has the same meaning, but it is B1. So no need to use proficient when you are creating a lesson for A1 students. You see, so whenever you feel like this word could be difficult, or like I'm not sure about using it in this text, you go to the dictionary and check if it matches the level of your students or not. Okay, so so far we're talking about the tools, and we said that the first one is the Microsoft PowerPoint, and then the second one was, you still remember?
CFR levels.
Yeah,
and,
okay, and the last one is
dictionary.
yeah, I got dictionary. That shows you the level. If you cannot find the level here, then you should use another dictionary. So you can use more than one dictionary. Like your target is to know the level of the vocabulary you're using in your lesson. Okay, now let's talk about the reading lesson. So how to write a reading lesson. This is the second section of our presentation today. So I will show you two examples of reading lessons. And while you're having a look at the two lessons, you need to find out answers for those two questions. The first one is, what are the differences between them? And the second one, which one is better and why? Okay, so we have two questions. You can take a screenshot or whatever, so you don't forget the questions while you're having a look at the lessons. What are the differences between them, and which one is better and why? Okay. So this is the first reading lesson. As you can see here, the title is H2S skill. Then we have the passage with some gaps. Then the first task is fill in the gap using the following vocabulary. The second task, complete the sentences. I have here 7 sentences, and that's it. Here we have answer key. The lesson is done. You can take notes. We will talk about the two lessons when we have a look at the second one. Okay, let me show it again. The text, then the passage with some gaps. Task 1, fill in the gap, and then task 2, complete the sentences, and then it's done. Okay, let's look at the second lesson. It's the same lesson. H2S skills, which is hydrogen sulfide. So first activity here, a quick review of the previous lesson. An example here, dictation. And then exercise number 2, read the following page and answer the questions. The same vocabulary and the same passage here. Complete the sentences, match. Then we have rearrange. And the last activity, time to write 3 to 5 sentences describing how dangerous H2S can be. Let me show it again. So first we have the title here, and then we have the first activity, a quick review of the previous lesson. Could be dictation. Exercise number 2, activity number 2 has 3 exercises. So A, fill in the gap. B, complete the sentences, and then C, match. Then exercise number 3, rearrange, and number 4, writing. So here, the students will write 3 to 5 sentences describing how dangerous H2S can be. Okay, now let's discuss them together. So what are the differences between them?
Lesson number 2 had various activities like matching and fill gap and a lot of things, and rearrange and a lot of activities. And the first one, like 1 or 2 activities.
Okay.
Have a lot of. And there is a warm up in the lesson number 2. There is a warm up, like a revision at the end of the lesson, at the beginning of the lesson. Yeah, that's it.
Number 1 focuses on the vocabulary. I guess it focuses on the vocabulary itself. So just the words, fill in, find the correct word. You have to understand the meaning of the word so you can find the correct answer. So I think the first one is quite specific. The second one is quite general and has more options, I guess.
Yeah, like for example, rearranging it works on parts of speech and the student's skill to make a whole sentence or a whole correct sentence, maybe.
Yeah, can I say something? Yeah. Also in the second one, there is like an activity in the end where they have to produce their own sentences. So after more controlled practice on the grammar or the vocabulary, they actually need to apply it in a productive activity, which is also, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. How about others? Okay, so which one is better and why?
I believe the second one is better. You know, we need to have a deeper look and closer look, you know, and whether the text is the same or not. But just by looking at the two lessons, I would say the second one looks better to me. It's more visually appealing. It's more organized, and it just looks better. It looks like a lesson from a book. It's not clumsy like the first one.
Okay. By the way, I wrote the two lessons. Okay.
I can tell.
Yeah. Okay. So
I would also vote for the second one because it actually gives a warm up and you feel like things are moving gradually, and to reach a point where you actually can access what students have learned from the vocabulary you gave them by giving them the chance to write. So I believe it gives a warm up, it gives controlled practice, it gives more free practice. So I believe the second one is better.
Yeah, I also guess like we can use the second one like as a lesson itself, but the first one we can use it as the part of activity in a whole session. We can use just as an activity, as one activity, but the second one we can use it as a lesson of 60 minutes or something like that.
okay, that's good. Okay, let's get back again to the two lessons. The second one's not here.
Also, the first lesson can be used for skimming and scanning. Yeah, we can get benefits from it. And the second one is more detailed and it provides more chances for different styles of learners.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Now let's have a deep look at the two lists. So here, this one is talking about H2S skills. This is the title. It's talking about hydrogen sulfide. Like those two lessons were created for industrial purposes. It's the same lesson, by the way, but this one is edited version of it. Like what we found here is that the first thing, we don't have an activity here at the beginning. So if you're going to spend time and effort creating your own material, then you don't, it doesn't make sense to spend time and effort here and then before teaching you design exercises again. So this is number one. So we said, why don't we add the exercises here? So here, like this one, like first we have this activity, so no need to plan activities before teaching your lesson. You just have to have a look at the answer key and like how we're going to move gradually in your lesson. This is number one. Number two, regarding the organization, here, if you have a look here, let me first zoom out a little bit. So if you have a look here, from the first glance, you can say that this part from here to here is the passage, and the questions might start from here. But if you look at the other one here, like, let me again zoom out. So this area is surrounded here. So you can easily tell that this is the passage. And those like 5 or 6 lines are part of this passage, okay? One more thing here, which is very important, like we have the same task, by the way. So here we have like fill in the gaps. and in the other one, there's fill in the gaps. And here we have complete the sentences, and they are the same sentences. We just added two exercises there. But if you look at this lesson, at the end, the most important thing is the time to write fiction, the production. So at the end of each lesson, according to your aim at the beginning of the lesson, so you must have a production activity. You must test if you achieve your aims or not. So just getting inside the classroom and teaching a reading lesson, and then at the end, you don't know if you achieve your aims, your goals, objectives or not. If the students can do whatever you planned at the beginning of your lesson or not, like you're just spending time with the students. So for example, here, this lesson, the purpose of this lesson was vocabulary. So we wanted this to learn some important vocabulary that they're going to use in the second year when they move to the job skill. So we have some keywords up there, and we want them to use the vocabulary in sentences here. They study here about H2S, hydrogen sulfide, and like they move through the vocabulary we have here. Again, this activity is designed for vocabulary to test understanding. And then, like again, this one you can paraphrase here. You can use sentences from the text according to your student's level, and then we reach at the end to the production activity. So we were talking about this. Let's have a look at the components of any reading lesson. What are the components of any reading lesson? What do you do when you teach a reading lesson?
Introducing the topic first, introducing the new vocab.
Okay.
After that, there is like a pre-reading question for the student, like to scan the passage quickly or the article. Then there is a question for the student after reading the whole passage.
Okay, that's good. So how wants to talk?
And finally, there is like a discussion question at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So how?
Warm up, and then pre-teach some vocabularies that may obstacle their understanding, and sorry, totally forgot now.
No,
Yeah,
no
the warm
problem.
up, the pre-teach, and then I go to the lesson itself during the reading, and the post-reading will be like a production activity, maybe like speaking or writing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they said, like lead in, warm up. Sometimes you can elicit the topic of the whole reading passage, and then sometimes they just read for general information where they just need to skim and scan, and then they need to read for specific details. And then they just wrap up the whole thing with like a more free practice related to producing sentences or speech or anything like that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, do you want to add anything more here? Okay, so let's have a look. So the first thing we have is the lead in or the warm up. Usually it's like discussions. You have some open-ended questions at the beginning. It could be like games, guessing games or things like that. It could be eliciting or reviewing the previous lesson. You can have dictation, like if your focus here is the vocabulary in this like class. Then we have the pre-teaching vocabulary. So you start with drilling. So you focus on the pronunciation. So like saying the words, and the students repeat the words after you. You have choral drilling and individual drilling, like to make sure that everyone can pronounce the words correctly. Then you have pictures or context, and then you use the CCQs to make sure that the students understand the meaning so they can finish the task you prepared well. And then we have an activity to check the understanding. After that, we have some controlled activity in the reading lesson. It could be a scanning or a skimming activity. And then the production, the moment of truth. Then after teaching or after like working with your students through those stages, you want to see if they can produce the language or not, like according to your aims and goals, as I said at the beginning. If it's vocabulary, so if it's vocabulary, then you have like some activities to check that they can use them in sentences in speaking or writing. If it's grammar, then you want to check whether they can say or write sentences using this tense. One important thing again about those two lessons here is that the second one, we achieved an important thing here, which is the learner-centered approach. If you give this to a student alone, with like minor help from the teacher, the student can go through the stages of the lesson. So everything is explained here and clear, and like with minor assistance from the teacher, the students can go on and complete the task here, like except the pre-teaching and like learning and so on. So they will follow the sections and stages in the lesson themselves. You can just give the instructions and then ICQs, and then you leave them to themselves, which is very important. But in the other one here, you will find that, okay, so if you give this to a student, then he sees a title and then a passage, some gaps, he doesn't understand what to do here. Should he read or like complete from his mind? So no instructions at all here. The instructions come after the passage here. So here, we can say that this is a teacher-centered lesson, okay? But the other one, the student can move from one stage to another by himself. Like, not by himself complete. He needs some assistance from the teacher's side, okay? So again, we have like, we design the activities. Again, we are creating our own materials. We are spending time and effort. So no need to work on the same lesson 2 times. So instead of like adding or writing the text or the passage here, and then like you add some questions, and then when you want to teach, like this lesson has a lesson plan inside it. Okay, so without a lesson plan, you know exactly what you're going to do. But here, no, you need a lesson plan, and you need to add some activities. You need to add a production activity, and so on. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about until now. So now, like, it's time for questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation and all the rich information. But I believe the most important question is where we can get the text from.
Okay, that's a very good question. So we talked first about the CEFR. So like if you're using a book or something like a prepared book, like a book from Oxford or Cambridge or something, then you can go to the CEFR, the topics that match this level of your students, and then like let's say that in your book you have to focus on some vocabulary, then let's say related to family or something, then you're going to write a lesson using those vocabulary. You're going to write a passage yourself. This is one option. The second option is to go and search online, and you will find hundreds of texts. And then when you get them, you need to do 2 things. Number one is to check the level of the vocabulary and that they match the CEFR and that they contain the vocabulary you need, like you're creating this lesson to focus on. And the second thing is like to mention the website or the book that you got the text from.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I've got another question if you don't mind.
Okay.
the two texts you showed us, the two lessons, were they designed on PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, both of them. But like, unfortunately, I'm saying both of them were designed on PowerPoint presentation. But this one was at the beginning when I started to write lessons, and then after a year, we reached to this design.
Okay. Is the text readable when it is printed on A4 paper?
Of course.
Is the size good enough? Big enough?
Yeah, we print them as books. Let me show you another example here. Okay. So this is the reading book we're using for level 2. It has 40 lessons. So we don't print from PowerPoint directly. We haven't tried this, but maybe like it's okay, no problem with it. I'm not sure. So here we have the lessons. Like as I told you, when you zoom out, you can see the product here. So this is it's A4. So you need like to transfer it, like just some examples. You need to transfer it to PDF. Where's the mouse? From here, as we said before. So you go to
have you designed or made those lessons by yourself?
Yeah, of course.
How did you start at the beginning with content writing? Who taught you? What did you learn? What did you use to reach that kind of level?
Only experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I started with PowerPoint presentation. I knew that I can like use this to create the lesson, and it's easier than Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word. And then like I started to add things like and change the design and get feedback from the teachers and from the students. What are like the obstacles they find? So for example, in this lesson, as I told you, the design is horrible. Like you cannot tell where is the beginning and the end of the text. So we said, okay, then we will put them together, remove the spaces between the line here and surround the text. Then we started to do the same thing with all the lessons. When we gave this lesson at the beginning, it was not enough, and the teachers, like some teachers, followed only the structure here. Like they asked the students to complete the text and then complete the sentences, and then the lesson is done. No production, no pre-teaching, nothing at all. So we said, okay, then we will add those activities there, so the teacher are aware what they're going to do, and also we make it a learner-centered lesson, so the students can notice if this is something they can do themselves.
Yes, and how long would it take you to come up with that second lesson?
Okay. Okay. Let me show you here. Okay. So for example, what happens is that like you only find it difficult at the beginning, but like when I move to write another lesson, so I just copy this design and go down there and paste. I have the design already. Then what I want to do is to change the text, change the topic, change the questions, and so on.
It looks so complicated to me. It looks so complicated to me. I don't believe I could ever, make something that good.
Yes, it's perfect. Well designed.
I mean, the design, I mean.
The design, like we reached that design by time. As I told you, this like the difference between this one and this one is a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it was just experience and feedback from the teachers and the students until we reached that design. So now like with this lesson, whenever I have the idea, like as we spend more time thinking of the ideas. Yeah, we have the scope and sequence. For example, here, let me show you the content at the beginning here. So here, like we have, so the content of this unit, which is 5 lessons, is let me zoom in. So here, everyday problem. So we know that we need to write 5 lessons, and they should talk about everyday problems and contain the vocabulary in the headway book, the targeted vocabulary that the students need to learn. So thinking of the topic of each lesson is like the main problem. This is like, we take a lot of time doing this, but whenever we are doing this, then it's okay, it's done. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can spend, like if you have the topics of lesson, it can take an hour or 2 writing one lesson, from 1 hour to 2 hours.
I actually have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is that I think you designed those activities for a Middle Eastern context, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I was concerned with the cultural appropriateness of the texts you find and also the age appropriateness. So how do you make sure that what you get is actually relevant to the students and what they actually see in their real lives, and also with students who are young in age but with advanced English? Usually when you're trying to find something with a certain level of proficiency in English, they come up with, the search comes up with topics that are too complicated for kids or teenagers, for example. So how do you just adapt all that?
This is, I got it. This is why we have CEFR here. This is regarding the level, okay? So we have CEFR here. It tells us the topic and what the students produce, what the students can do in the listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and all other skills, what grammar parts they need to master and vocabulary they need to learn, and also the topics here. This is regarding the level. Regarding content itself and the culture, one important thing is that like the headway we're using is not the global headway. They have let's say a special edition for Saudi Arabia. So the vocabulary we're using in headway is the same that we're going to use here. So the names there are Arabic names, the places and things they can visit are like places inside Saudi Arabia. They have some some things from outside, but and also the pictures they use, they make sure that they fit the culture of the student. Okay, so regarding the level, we use CEFR, and we use the dictionaries. We talked about that before, so to know the level of each vocabulary. And here CEFR, so we don't get out of the topics, and also we do not expect that the students can produce more than that in our production. So for example, in level 2 books here, you will see the production activities different from the ones I showed you before. So the production activity in that lesson was to write 3 to 5 sentences. But if you look here to this lesson, for example, so here, write a 10-sentence paragraph about your living room. What does it look like? What's there in your living room? What is not there in your living room? And give reasons, examples, and extend your answer. So here we tell him what to do exactly. We don't want only 10 sentences. Okay. So with the help of the teacher, we can make sure that the students reach what we want and reach what they have to produce according to the CEFR. So we always get back to the CEFR and the dictionary. I hope I answered the question.
Can I ask something too?
Okay.
About the CEFR levels. So is there a PDF reference online or somewhere so we can check out the topics or something like that? Yes, yeah, files.
I will share this with Mr. Shaban. I believe there are other documents for B2, C1, C2, but those are the ones we're working on now. Our expectation at the end of the program that the students are B1, so we don't need them, but I will look for them and share them with you as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question, Mr. Mohammed?
Yes.
Yeah. So the CERF is like the standard of yeah, you mean these are like the standards only. But how do you really assess your learners? What kind of tests, what kind of exams do you use?
Okay, that's a very big question. Because what we have here is like we have 2 speaking exams in each level, which is like each 2 months and 1 week. So this is the level. So they have 2 speaking exams. They have 2 writing exams, and they have a midterm and a final exam. So in the 2 speaking exams, we have another book like this one for reading, but the other one is for speaking. It's on the flash drive. I can show you to you. So it's in this book. In each lesson, they have a language function, and then like activities. We go through the activities until we reach the production activity. So in the speaking exam, they have questions about those studied language functions, so they can talk about. So we can see if they can talk about or not. So inside the lesson, in the production activity, inside the class, in the production activity, the teacher checks if the students can produce this or not. And in the speaking exam, we like here we assess like not one lesson, like from 10 to 12 lessons, and so on. In the writing, like they have topics to write about. So the same thing in the writing exam, we like ask them to write about things they have learned, so we can see if they can use the vocabulary they studied, the language we're taught in the reading lessons,
That's
and so
fine,
on.
but yeah, but you're talking about the post-level exam or the placement test at the beginning, because
No,
I meant the
not.
placement test. How can I assess my learners?
Oh, you mean at the beginning?
Yes.
I think like you should have a placement test according to the book, the main book you're using. Then like each book has a placement test, and because you're going to create those lessons according to that book, it will be on the same level, you know.
Yeah.
So
if I am a standalone association and I'd like to assess my own placement test for my learners. So the book we use, yes, it has a placement test and so on, but it's an online version and it's not free. And I think you can use it only for once, you know, for one time, and it's unreachable. So I need someone something in hand that I can use for every client I have.
Well, I'm not sure about this because like where I'm working, like they have their own placement test. They like they do it at the beginning of like when the students join the program, they do the placement test at NITI because like we are like the institute and we are a company working there. So we are responsible for teaching, creating materials, and the test at the end of each level. But at the beginning, to like to get those students accepted, they have a placement test at NITI, and we do not have access to that. But we have access to the Headway placement test, the book that we use. And after the students are accepted, we use that placement test of Headway just to arrange the students in the classes. But like to get accepted from the beginning, they use their own placement test. I'm not sure if I can help in this matter.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you so much. But it's getting harder with online process, you know, the speaking and writing. How can I assess my learners? This is a big issue and still working on it. But
okay, you mean in the speaking and writing? No, it's just
the Lexis, yeah, the Lexis, yeah, we can create an like a Google form exam or something to test your learners of grammar and Lexis and so on. But what about the speaking? What about the writing?
Yeah, I got it. I have the answer. So here, like we have again, we will go back again to the CEFR. So here, like if you So here, spoken production. So students at this level can use simple phrases and sentences to describe what they do, where they live, and people they know. So they give you the topic here, and also they give you the level of the language they are going to use to answer your questions. Okay, just wait with me, like I will move.
Yeah.
Here you have the topics that the students in A1 can talk about. So here we have family life, hobbies and pastimes, holidays, leisure activities, shopping, work, and jobs. And here you have in grammar, it tells you like the tenses the students can use here, like past simple, present simple. You will find present simple down there. So you can design questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
According
about
to
those
standards.
topics. About those topics, and like I have done something like that before, and I can share with you. So you can design topic questions from those topics, and you expect your students will answer those questions with using this grammar and the language function here. Okay, here.
Can I say
so
something?
For example,
sorry, go
this
on.
is like this is not the full placement test. Then you move to the A2 learner outcomes here. Then you have the topics again.
Okay.
So you have the topics here, and you have here the language. Again, you design some questions. You can put them like in groups. So those questions are for
A1,
A1,
for A2,
and those questions are for A2.
And if he
like
passes
B1,
the first
B2.
level, then he would be A2 and so on. This is so nice. Yeah.
Whenever you ask, like, for example, you start with A1, you just ask 1 or 2 questions. If the student cannot answer the questions, then no need to move to A2. If they can answer, okay, then we will move to A2 to see if this is their level, or should we move further to B1
if
and
he
B2
passes
and so on.
all if he passed all the questions, if he passed all the questions, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. Will you share these materials with us, Mr. Muhammad?
Of course.
When we got it? Thank you so much.
I will send them to Mr. Taban, and he will share them with you.
Thank you.
Can I say something about the speaking test?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I believe what we can also use regarding assessing speaking and writing in order to like ensure consistency whenever we're allocating students in certain levels. I believe we can use rubrics that actually have descriptive language in order to, like, for example, this student is able to form sentences in the correct structure, and we can allocate marks or points on each category if he falls under this category or not, and so on. So they measure accuracy, fluency, pronunciation, and each of them has like a certain weight of points, maybe.
Yeah, of course. Like you do not only design the questions, you have to have a criteria. So you can, like, if you ask a student, for example, describe your city, and then he says it's beautiful. And another student, for example, says it's a very big city, it's in the center of, let's say, the country, or it's in the south or the north, and then it has a lot of places you can visit. So he extends the answer. So like the level of this one is not like that one. So you should have criteria and give scores according to that criteria. Yes,
for
of
the
course.
assessors.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, me.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Me first.
Okay, go ahead.
How are you, Mr. Muhammad?
Oh, I am fine.
I just need a chance. I needed a chance to say hi, like since the beginning, but you were talking and I didn't want to interrupt you guys. Welcome, Mr. Muhammad. I'm so glad to see you online finally. Thank you so much for that input, for that great input. I think that topic is like can be extended to many sessions, not only one session. And like I just wanted to thank you so much for that effort and for the input. And I leave the microphone for anyone if anyone wants to speak.
Thank you.
To ask.
Thank you. Mr. Dabis, is it possible for you, is it permissible that you share just one design of those PowerPoint presentation without any text, just the design itself?
Yeah, of course.
So that we can fill in with our own texts and exercises.
of course, of course. But like you have like you will not follow the same design like the questions in each lesson. So for example, here in this lesson, you have true or false questions, and here open-ended questions. Here at the beginning, for example. So here
I know how generous you are. So when I ask you for one, you understand that I would need more, and you would send us a bunch.
Actually, the problem is that.
No, we don't need the text. We don't need anything. Just like a design. That just make us a design for us, if you don't mind. Just 1 or 2 pages with 2 different designs, not this particular book. I'm not asking for this book.
Okay. No
if
problem.
If you don't mind.
No problem. No problem.
And could you please show us some more pages of the book, because this looks amazing. I want to look at it forever.
Okay. So
really,
like,
guys, don't you agree, guys, that this looks amazing? Can you believe that just one teacher of English has created all that book by themselves?
Yes, it's a great effort.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was wondering if we could borrow his book or something like that.
We can buy it.
Yeah,
if you want.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. So
yes,
here,
show
for
us
example,
some more pages, please. Don't move too quickly. Let's enjoy the site.
Okay. Let me show you. Okay, let me first transfer it to PDF so we can move easily. Save as.
Guys, our teachers, can any one of you develop such, wonderful design of PowerPoint presentation where we can create some materials or our placement test or anything?
As Mr. Muhammad said, I believe it comes with experience, so we can all start trying.
We already have the most. We already have the most incredible PowerPoints, Mr. Rashid.
You should say yes, because I like if you have a look at the first lesson I created and then like that one, so you should say yes.
Yes, but I mean maybe we have one in the team or more who are able to produce that kind of design. I don't know all the skills of or the talents and everything of the team. So that's why I'm asking.
We're willing to. I don't know if we're able to, but we're willing to. So we can always try.
How about you, Maha?
Design or content?
No, the design.
The design is okay. Fine.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
So the content is my responsibility and the design is yours, and then we create a book like this.
Okay, no problem.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
But it depends on the deadline. Just need some time.
No, it's okay. We can work according to our own pace and convenience. We're not in a hurry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's easy. You just need to fix one template and then you fill the template. Once
yes,
you
but
get
you need to have you need to have a variety, not only one template.
No, I mean the template of everything. So the cover, the exercises, the different type of exercises, because you will not do like 100 different exercises, right?
Right.
We have the right booklets, Mr. Rashid, but now I feel like jealous. I want to make such a wonderful design like Mr. Muhammad. Maybe Miss Maha can take the contents of the writing booklets and she can edit the design.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. We've got our own content, and our content is really good, and I'm going to create more content for more stages, not only the basics, in the near future. And that's why I was asking about someone who could design such kind of PowerPoint presentations where we can turn our stuff into real books like these. If I gave you that book and I told you it was developed by Oxford University Press, you would believe me, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I actually believe that the trick that Mr. Muhammad shared regarding using PowerPoint and then convert it into a PDF, that would save a lot of effort, especially if you're working with Word. If you insert something, it just goes like, you know, crazy and everything becomes a mess. But with PowerPoint, you can actually insert a box, insert this, insert that. So I believe if you're working according to that simple trick, we can actually make something easily.
You know, I'm still unable to visualize or imagine that just one slide of PowerPoint presentations, or just one slide would contain all those that kind of information, designs and graphs. You know, for me it looks too much for just one slide. I don't know how he's you know, controlled the size this way. Guys, you are smart. You are smarter. You are smarter than me. Try to understand what he's saying and then tell me.
Okay, this is the difference between Word and PowerPoint. When I figured out that you can like have a PowerPoint slide which is A4, then I started to say, okay, let's try using this. Then like the lesson I created at the beginning, then like with only 2 or 3 activities, then like with the feedback, as I told you, from the teachers and from the students and the problems they found teaching those lessons, then we started to add more and try and print and see if it works or not.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's very good. And what is good about PowerPoint presentation, as I told you, is, Microsoft PowerPoint, is that whenever you want to edit or change something here, it will not affect the whole document, like it happens with Word. Whatever you change stays in the slide, doesn't affect other slides. But with Word, no. Like if you want to change your mind about an activity, then it will be a mess.
No, is it different from the ordinary PowerPoint slides that we have? Because I don't have that option of screenshot or something.
Let me show you again. No,
yeah, this one screenshot, I don't have it.
Yes, could you please, Muhammad, repeat the first couple of steps where you started creating the thing?
Okay.
Maha, pay attention, please.
Mr. Rashid, have a look. Wait, I will
Yes.
show something. Is it clear? Can you see?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, and then
Some kind of brochure.
it was done by my father, by the way. This one too.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a brochure?
No, this is a file for a conference that he did for Tanta University. And inside, this is the brochure. Okay, this is the face, this is the cover, this is the cover, this is the back, and inside. Is it clear?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Maha, is he looking for a job?
Well, he's working as freelancer actually.
Okay, good,
So
great.
people give him such orders all the time.
Yes.
He's right here. Say hello. This one's also for him.
He's just right there. Hello, Mr. Hamdi.
Hello, uncle. How are you doing?
Great designs.
He's quite sick. Pray for him.
Oh, very sorry. Recover soon. Please translate to him if he doesn't speak English.
No, he speaks English. Come on. He was a teacher in the university. He was teaching geology.
Okay.
Wow,
Say
mashallah.
hi.
Let's say hello.
He was teaching geology.
Mr. Mohammed, there is a great effective tool that we can use to create these things, and it has already made templates like Canva. It is a great website, and also slides to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, it provides really.
I believe there are a lot of applications, but like this one is handy. Like we don't want to pay for. Like,
no, it's totally free. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
That's good.
Mr. Davis,
most of its templates are free.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Davis, could you please show us again what you do, how you turn this slide into an A4 page?
Okay. First, you go to design.
Okay.
Then you have here the...
Maha, take notes, please.
slide size.
What?
The slide size, you go to custom slide size, and
Okay.
here use portrait, and then the slide size 4 for what you want to use them for what. So here you choose A4 paper. Okay, and then okay. Then choose whatever you want, ensure fit or maximize. It's the same. I haven't noticed any differences between them. Then
And, what font and size do you usually use, with those lessons?
what? Sorry?
The font and the size you use.
Okay, so let me show you. So here, like if I'm going to write, let's say the title. So say insert here, shape.
Because you see, I'm asking this because the page has so many words. I mean, it could end up with like what, 1,000, 2,000 words, I believe.
Yeah, as long as it fits inside, it's okay. So let me show you here, like this one, edit text, and let's say here, family and friends. Okay, then we can change this. Okay, we can change this from format, choose whatever you want here. So let's say, for example, I prefer green, and then you can fill it with here, and then you can have them bold. Go bigger because this is the title. Okay, and then like when we want to add a text here, I usually go from 14 to 12, sometimes 10, the size, and it's okay. Like when you print them out, it's okay, readable. So here, for example, let's say that this is the size number 1 here. Let's say look at the pictures. And discuss this one. Then this one here. This is 18. This is very big. So we're going to make it bold. Oh, here, bold. And then go like this. No. Yeah, this one should be 14. And then like the titles or the instructions, and then here you go for
it just goes like a very normal Word document, Mr. Muhammad, because here it just goes as a very normal Word document.
Yeah, but you have your own
not as a PowerPoint presentation. As a PowerPoint presentation, you need to make it very big, and the size of the font should be like 26 and a half or something like that in order to be visible for the students and like eye-catchy and everything. But here, as long as you're treating it as a Word document, so you need to type it in 10, 12, 14 maximum. Because 14, like if we have here, like for example, this font on this page, this is 12, for example. So
yeah.
12 is a big font, not a small one.
Yes. So actually, 12 is very good, and also 10. Like in text, we sometimes use 10, and like when we write the passage, 10 is also good and readable. In questions and like in instructions before the questions, we use 14. Sometimes we use 12 according to the spaces we have. The good thing about this, like the thing you have here, and it's not in Word, you can move this part here, go down, go here, like you create your own space to write. It's there, but you will still also have like if you go and write anything here, you will find nothing. I'm using the keyboard now, nothing is happening. But in Word, no. Here, so like
just better than the Word document, yeah.
Yeah. So here you can use 14, you can use 12. Also 12 is okay. It's not bad. Like when you print it out, and when you transfer it to
PDF?
PDF, yeah. So this one here, for example. So let's make it. Okay. So this is 100%. So it will look like this when you print it out. Okay. So this one I think is 14.
It looks very fine, you know.
Yeah. And then you can add whatever you want, the activities, design whatever you think is good, or like a catchy activity. So
if you ask me to write the same text, you know, it would take me like 5 pages on Word to do the same thing, to write that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can give a course to one of the teachers, and then he or she can teach us later.
Okay, no problem. I know the teacher.
Yeah, okay. She'll contact you if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You know, it's been 90 minutes. It's extremely enjoyable and rich and everything, but we don't want to keep you for too long. We know how busy you are, so I really didn't know. I can't find enough words to thank you for such wonderful workshop or training session. And if any of the teachers would like to say something, go ahead, guys, please. A final word before leaving.
Thank you for such great information, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I forgot to say hi to my colleagues, all my colleagues here. Hi, everyone. I miss you, and thank you also for your time that you dedicated to take this session with Mr. Muhammad and Mr. Muhammad Dabis. Thank you so much for this time that you dedicated for us. And say hello for everyone at NITI.
Oh, thank you. Okay, of course.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being here. We appreciate it, Mr. Dabis. Thank you. And it won't be the last time, you know, that we've seen you, I believe.
Of course.
It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.